I'm Ric Plante. I'm the bamboo rod maker here at the shop. Today we'd like to go over how to mount your Morgan Handmill to your workbench and give you a couple helpful hints. A couple things to take into consideration before mounting your handmill. One is we recommend you have 18 to 24 inches on each side of the handmill. This allows for freedom of planing where you're not running into anything. The angled aluminum is approximately 6 feet long, so you need about 10 feet of work area. A few tools that you need: a hand drill, tape measure, some wrenches, a level, and a clamp. It makes mounting the handmill just that much easier. First thing I'm going to do is find the center hole on the angled aluminum. There are 7 mounting holes, so I find the center one. Give myself enough area to work on each side. I'm going to simply mark where I want that on my work surface. I want this hole to be no more than 2 inches from the top surface of the workbench. The reason for that is I want the base of the handmill to be proud of the work surface, and I'll show you more about that later on in the video. Alright, so I've drilled my hole 1 3/4 inches from the top of my work surface. Next thing I'm going to do is take my bolt, slide it into the hole to hold that angled aluminum in place. I'm just going to put my nut on the back just to make sure it doesn't fall out. We do not supply the bolts for the angled aluminum because we never know the type of surface that our customers are attaching their handmill to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a level on the handmill. If you don't get it perfectly level, it's okay. The handmill will work just fine. I'm going to clamp this in place. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to mark each hole where I'm going to drill for the 6 remaining bolts. At this point, I've drilled the 6 remaining holes. I'm going to put my bolts in place and just finger tighten the nuts on them. I don't want to over tighten them at this point because if my work surface is not flat, I could actually bend the angled aluminum. So put them finger tight, just like putting nuts on a tire on your car. You're not going to overdo them. I'll go back and I'll tighten them all up at the end. At this point, I got my angled aluminum mounted. I have all my bolts in place. They're finger tight. A helpful hint that I have found over the years is, at this point where the hold down screws go, I like to mark it on the angled aluminum. It just makes it easier to find where those screws are going to go when I go to mount it. So at this point, my angled aluminum is mounted. The bolts are finger tight. I'm going to take my base, lay it on my angled aluminum. I put a mark where the hole is going to be. Makes it very easy for me to find it from underneath. And I can just screw them in. Again, I'm just going to do them finger tight all the way down, and then I'm going to go back and tighten them all one by one. At this point, I have the 7 screws attaching the base to the aluminum. I have my 7 screws attaching the aluminum to my workbench. Starting at one end, I'm going to go and I'm just going to tighten each one. Hand tight is good. Don't have to be extremely tight because all the pressure when you're planing is down. Next, I'm going to go tighten all the bolts that attach my aluminum to my workbench. So in closing, you can see it's fairly easy to mount the handmill. You need very little tools to do it. It's fairly straightforward. If you have any questions, comments, or thoughts, feel free to call us here at the shop. Some people have actually sent us emails or photos of their workspace asking for some tips on how to mount their handmill. We're always here to help.